I had a lot of preconception about a decade ago when I started putting these out for my clients. I thought, okay, a cool PC, it saves you a lot of space. Like, these are going out to business environments, not in home environments most of the time. So any desk space what you have in a business office, if it's a doctor's office, a front desk, it's billing, as much desk space you have, it's better, because you always have a scanner, you have a phone, you have a credit card machine, you have papers in front of you. So if the PC is actually built into a monitor, you're already ahead. One thing blows me away about this PC is the speed. This is a 13 Gen i5 13500T with 16 gigs of RAM. We can go up to 64. There are two slots. Each can take up to 32 gig modules, DDR4, and we have a 512 SSD. So what I'm saying, this is the fastest PC I ever worked on. I mean, not in 3D Mark or Cinebench, what kind of scores are we getting, but the general feel, I still cannot wrap my head around how fast is this PC when you just have a mouse and a keyboard and you're just browsing on this PC. You're just opening up documents, pictures, files, going between tabs. The way this PC operates, I just can't believe. I'm setting up computers for almost 2 decades, anywhere between $500 to a $3,000 custom desktop all the time, and I hardly ever seen this kind of speed. I went to Dell.com and I went to see the customer reviews on this particular machine, and some other people are saying the same exact thing. So this is not just one particular PC in front of me which must have this speed. I don't know where is it coming from. Technically, it's the same thing what we have in a 13 Gen i5 micro PC. It's the same T. Obviously, when I'm running test scores, we're going to see that this PC performs better than the micro because we have a larger power supply, we have more space behind the screen, and we also have a better cooling system. So yeah, it's by physics or by law, this PC has to perform better than the micro, which it does. So it runs faster than a micro. When I unbox this PC, this is what I like to see. It's 100% recycled paper, cardboard. The box is huge. I wanted to do an unboxing video. The computer was sandwiched between these two big pieces. I love to see this. When I reviewed the cheaper Dell Inspiron all-in-one computers, they all had a foam or they all had styrofoam. You say, okay, Scott, it's what a big deal. You're probably opening up one PC. When it's deployment time, we're opening up probably 50 to 100 computers, and also maybe a double amount of the monitors, because a lot of them in a business class environment has 2 monitors right off the bat. So that is a lot. If you have a cheap device, I cannot understand. I would happy to pay $5 more for a PC or for a monitor just to have recycled cardboard. I'm not sure which country you are in, or what state you are in, or what county, but our county for recycling states that if the cardboard box has any pieces of styrofoam in, like little particles, it means it's contaminated and not recyclable. Any kind of food scrap, pizza box, whatnot, is not recyclable. They only want clean cardboard which can be recycled properly. It is what it is. So this machine was coming from Amazon, costed over $1,000. When I went to Dell.com, they haven't had anything close to this. The Dell prices fluctuate a lot. If you have time to buy a computer, I suggest to wait, keep checking the prices at Dell.com. Every couple days, the price will fluctuate between $1,200 and $1,500. And if it's a major like Black Friday or any kind of day when it's usually there is discount, this could be $1,000 computer. Why should you buy the computer from Dell? A lot of my clients purchased computers from Amazon, no issues whatsoever, but sometimes when you buy a computer, it could be a Lenovo, HP, or Dell, the warranty in a lot of cases starts when that vendor or third-party seller purchased it from the manufacturer, not when you got the computer shipped and sold to you. So sometimes on these brand new computers, yes, they are unopened brand new computers, but maybe the warranty started 3 or 6 months ago. I had a client who purchased a Dell laptop from Amazon. Day one, it was dead on arrival when you hit the power button, so I flipped the computer around. Their service tag went to Dell.com to opening a ticket. Turned out that the 1-year warranty on that laptop expired a year ago. That laptop was sitting in a warehouse at a third-party seller for 2 years. Amazon returned it, no problem whatsoever, but just to be aware, if it's not a Dell store at Amazon, there is a third-party seller, sometimes they're ripping out the original solid state, original RAM, and putting brand new components in it, which is great. It's significantly cheaper than buying the same spec computer from Dell, but could be a problem with the warranty because it's not the original component the PC came with. Mouse and a keyboard, finally a wireless mouse and a keyboard. I don't have to throw the brand new unopened wired mouse and wired keyboard to your recycle center unopened. Nobody wants that. If you have $1,000 business class machine, do not include that stuff because it goes nowhere. Again, it's been a business environment. Nobody wants to have the cables dangling in front of clients or dangling in front of people who works with the computer all the time. Any drawback with this set? It feels kind of cheap. Lightweight. It looks kind of square design, bulky-ish, but works great. If you need to get to the BIOS, you need a hardwired keyboard because this PC boots up faster than the wireless sets kicks in. I miss the BIOS every single time. I have to have a wired mouse and keyboard to plug in just to get to BIOS. Scott, why are you going to the BIOS? If this PC is going to a medical office, the Wi-Fi will be disabled. We are only using the hardwired connection. Also, one of the features gets disabled by every single manufacturer, major manufacturer, OEM built computers, the smart feature in the BIOS for monitoring your drive. One day that will save you or save your data or save your day or save you time for recovering the PC. Make sure that is on. Also, when in a business environment, what I have to turn on is the power supply last state. If the PC was on and the power went out and you don't have a battery backup or a battery backup also got drained, the power comes back on. I want this PC to turn itself on automatically because patching, antivirus scan, monitoring happens at night as well. So when the employee arrives in the morning, doesn't have to wait for Windows updates. Everything is being done at 3 a.m. in the morning. By 8 o'clock, this PC is rebooted, ready to go. So a couple of things I have to change all the time in a BIOS. Let's talk about the other thing. So this thing you said like, oh, groundbreaking feature, the wireless mouse and a keyboard works on a $1,000 machine. Not trashing HP, not trashing on the manufacturers. I had a client who purchased HP All-in-Ones, $1,500–$1,600 each. It came with a wireless mouse and a keyboard, a significantly better one. It was weighted. It almost felt like and looked like an Apple product, which I mean it in a good way. It was designed well. When you lifted up the keyboard, it felt premium because it was weighted. The mouse wasn't weighted as much. It was significantly less quality compared to the keyboard, but I was really impressed what I saw. A week later, the doctor calls us like, hey, I can't get into my computer because my password is invalid. I haven't changed my password. What's going on? So after some troubleshooting, turned out that the J or a K letter stopped working on these wireless keyboards. I looked into HP replacing these in warranty. The doctor was not happy about it because if you had a J or a K in your username or in your password, you could not log in. The solution was the temporary workaround is pulling the batteries out, putting it back in, and it worked. This is not what you want to see on a $1,600 machine which went to a doctor's office. So let's pull this PC apart. Let's see what kind of ports we have, and let's fire this PC up. Let's do some benchmarks, and we'll go from there. So wireless mouse and a keyboard, functional, no issues whatsoever. No height adjustment. This is, you have to have a plus. This is a standard. You have to have an OptiPlex standard plus, which give you the adjustable height mount. You can buy adjustable height mount. I think on eBay I saw somewhere between $50 or $70. I'm not sure if Dell is willing to sell you that. Let's take the backside of this PC off and let's see what we have here. So same thing. Pressing a single button on the back side will release this mount, and then we have access to the PC. If you saw my previous video with the 7-year-old Dell All-in-One, when you literally have to rip the backside of this PC, we have a significantly civilized option in here. There is a button to be pressed, and when you press it, it releases the back plate from the PC, just like an OptiPlex desktop. The top slides off, and then we have access to all the components. I mean, almost all the components. So let's see what we have here. Heat pipe. We have one heat pipe in here. Decent cooling system in here. This is where the speed coming from. With the i7, we got 2 heat pipes. With the i5, we can only have one. I'm sure you can figure this out and put a 2 heat pipe system in here. This is not the kind of PC I would do performance enhancement on these. This is an office computer which will barely run anything, and it's really good what it does. Also, if you see this cheap, very thin caddy in here with the thing dangling in here, secured with a piece of tape for the 2.5 SATA, either hard drive or solid state. This is what we have here. We also have a screwed shield or backplate in here with a little bit of window to remove the RAM or replace RAM. Great feature. On the i7, that 7-year-old, this whole backplate just slides off with a single pressing a button, and we have access to the Wi-Fi card and to the RAM and a CPU, and we can clean things out. We can redo the thermal paste, stuff like that. So it is, I think this is just because it's a standard. Let's go through the ports. So obviously we have a hardwired connection. Any medical office, banking, financial, we still utilize the hardwired connection. No Wi-Fi enabled. Power cord, we have a 130 watt external power supply in here. Nothing fancy. It's big, bulky. If you go with the standard plus, I think you get a 240 watt power supply. So we have only 4 USB ports, and one of them is utilized by a Dell dongle for the wireless mouse and a keyboard. HP incorporated this dongle inside the PC, and we only have one display port out, so we can have a 2 monitor setup with this PC. One of my favorite thing about the OptiPlex, apparently not on a standard anymore, is that the monitor could be used, the whole machine could be used as an external monitor because it has an HDMI in. So if you had a laptop, you had some kind of device and you needed a monitor in a pinch, you could use the PC as an external monitor. Not this model. Also, with the 7-year-old, that had the HDMI in and also had an HDMI out and the display port out, so that PC was actually utilized in a 3 monitor setup. So on a side, we have one more USB 3.0 port. For some reason, the one and only USB-C is on the bottom of the machine. I cannot imagine guessing this out by feel every time when a mount is on and you have this much space to plug something in. You either plug a cable in or an extension cable in it, but this is going to a medical office when a staff constantly rotates around the computers. So maybe somebody gonna have an Android phone, something to be charged. I'm not sure. I would not put the USB-C on the bottom. I would put it on the side and just let this USB 3.0 port go away, or go in the back, or I don't know, go in the bottom. It would have been still better. But we also have the SD card reader, which never been utilized by any of my clients. This is not a photo editing machine. It's full HD. The screen is awesome. It's sharp. It's bright. I don't know the brightness. I can't find any documentation if this is a 300 nit screen, or I don't think it's a 400. Something around 300. I hope it's not 250. It's bright enough for me. I don't know how well this perform in a bright, sunny environment. It's razor sharp. Looks great. Speakers, we have 2.5 watt speakers in it. Nothing mind-blowing. It almost looks like a soundbar in here. Not bad. Significantly better than any of the built-in speakers in monitors what I'm normally running into. The other thing is the webcam. It's a nice feature, a security or safety feature, that this thing slides in, so nobody can turn on and watch you or in the environment if it gets to that. Full HD 2 megapixel camera. This thing is grainy. It doesn't look good at all. I have to turn on all my studio light to the highest point when everything is blasted by the light, and then we can get a little bit better quality footage, just like you can see it in here. Other than that, we have this grainy, dotty, pixely thing. Good thing the webcam will be not utilized by my clients. If you are somebody who has a lot of business meetings and you represent something, you have to show objects or show charts, something needs to be sharp and look good, you have to go with the standard plus model, which will give you a 5 megapixel camera. In here again 2 megapixel. None of the upscale i7 versions has any better screen. There is no 2K screen, no 4K. What my client normally is actually prefer is a low resolution, because a lot of software, especially in the medical field, is not up to date. You have no idea the pain we have to get through when we get a laptop and they need to use a medical software, and a medical software is not optimized for full HD either. It's just HD. I cannot understand in 2024 what is going on with software development. But if they get a 2K screen, we have to throttle the resolution down to full HD or HD, so the medical software looks and feels great. Everything is large, everything is readable, the charts are readable. Other than that, yeah, some of them touchscreen. This is a non-touch screen. We're not gonna need a touchscreen at all, so it's gonna be on a medical cart. So I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna put the backplate on, and just for a quick peek, let's see what was the old method. I was always embarrassed when I had to do this basic function to take the backplate off of an all-in-one and put it back in, because clicked in, we have a sound, confirm that it's all secured. So as you can see in here, we have the vessel mounting holes in here. Let me put the mount back in. We don't have that anymore. I just love that feature when the screws were here ready to go. So before we fire this PC up, let me show you the old, oh my goodness. Let me show you the old Dell OptiPlex All-in-One. You had to pray the back part out, and then you hope that none of the plastic ears will break, which is a surprise to me how well these hold up all the time. Only one of them, or maybe two of them, just one of them, is actually snapped out of all these all around. If we're looking at, let's try to tell you that this is a 7-year-old i7. Look what a difference. We have a double heat pipe. We have a little bracket, a plastic bracket where the connector goes in. If I need to get to the component, I don't have to take screws out. This shield just literally slides off, and then especially if I can let this thing go, and then we can have access to all the components in here. We see the solid state, we see the RAM and the heat pipes. We can redo the thermal paste easily. We don't have to take screws out. It's just a feature. The Dell OptiPlex, same thing. The small factory form has 2 screws in the back, has screw holding down the hard drive carry. The Plus doesn't have that. It has a button which you just pull aside, the whole back plate goes off, and then also has a little latch. Just pull the latch and things just comes out. It's a significantly better method just than messing with the screws. Of course, if you have a couple computers, it's not going to be a difference. If you have to pay for labor and you have a whole lot, then yeah, that can add up quickly. So let's put this back in. Putting this thing back in, it's nonetheless embarrassing. You have to put the back side lining up everything in here, otherwise it will not go in its place. And you can see the plastic is just crackling. Everything is snapping back to its place, and the client at this point usually give you a look, wondering if this guy actually knows what he's doing. He's literally breaking the computer apart, ripping pieces apart. That cannot be right. So let me move this out of the way. Okay, so let's power this PC on and let's see what kind of performance we are getting out of this thing. But again, I have not seen a whole lot of computers performing this fast. So as you can see, the PC will start automatically without hitting this power button in here, because I changed the power management to turn this PC on as soon as the power is restored. I am blown away again how fast this PC responds just to clicking on a couple things, pulling up a browser, going through tabs. I'm shocked. So anything on this computer, you click, you go. Nothing fancy. The hard drive is not super fast. It's a Gen 4 M2. There's no magic in here. Performance-wise, this thing is somewhat faster than the Micro, and really like it a lot. Also, the performance comes out super evenly. Running these tests multiple times over and over, there is not a whole lot of changes between a lower and a higher score. So as you can see, Cinebench and the CPU profiler running a couple times, and this is the stress test what I like to run. So it technically loops the Time Spy test 20 times in a row back to back, and the frame rate is stable as we have less and less difference between a highest and a lowest score in performance, and you can see that this is 99.7. This is pretty awesome. It is a very subtle difference between a highest and a lowest score. Geekbench in here. Anytime I ran these tests, I usually spend a day just to run them over and over, rebooting a computer. One of the other best thing about this PC, this is what the PC came with. It literally has no bloatware on it, nothing on this, no other third-party stuff, no McAfee antivirus trial, no Microsoft Office English, Spanish, and French. We always have to have those removed, at least 2 of them for a client. This PC as clean as it gets. Here's some PC Mark test score. It only lets me to show you 4 or compare 4. The test scores 10,700, 10,600, 10,700, 10,700. The difference between each run is minimal. I don't see this quite a lot. PC Mark 10 score for the 13500T. We only have this Intel 770 integrated graphics card. Some of the computer, I think it has to be the Inspiron All-in-One, which comes with the MX550 dedicated video card with 2 gigs of RAM. If you need something beefier than that, you have to look somewhere else. Very happy. Let's see the camera, see some of these. Again, my complaint is, I don't know if you can see this. Webcam test 1 2 3 1 2 3, and also testing the sound in the same time. Let's see how this is gonna look like. Yeah, the webcam is just what it is, 2 megapixel. That's all we can get. If you're someone who needs a better resolution, you either step up to the standard plus for $1,600 or $1,700 when you can get a 5 megapixel camera, or you can use an external camera. I have a Dell 2K external webcam. I think it was $60 or $70 at one point at Dell. That's what I'm using if it comes down to that. So if you have any questions regards of this OptiPlex or any of the Dell machines, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you at the next video. Scott's out.